Welcome to Jesus Energy. In this space, we move beyond beliefs, beyond actions, and into embodying and emanating the healing, transformative, and loving energy of Jesus. This project is dedicated to anyone that wants to move into a more experiential dimension of Christianity, to those that long to be spiritually expansive and curious, while also rooting into the love of Jesus. It's also dedicated to those that might be wondering if they're still Christian and are holding on because of their relationship and love for Jesus, or for anyone that longs to simply feel alive in their body, cultivate some goodness, and manifest the life of their dreams, and maybe even create some heaven on earth. In this episode, we get to hear from the magnetic, adorable, beautiful Britt Dunne Graft, aka the Happy Healer. We will hear from her on her experience with seeing angels and learn from her incredible experience and wisdom and years of practicing energy healing, and simply just find some ways to shift the energy in our own lives and some practical ways that we can love ourselves more deeply and find more consistent healing in order to, just love our life and spread some healing energy and goodness. I know you're going to love her. And it's a joy and an honor that you're here. So much love to you, incredible, gorgeous friend. You are a gift. Your soul and your spirit is a blessing to this earth. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Yeah.
Showtime.
Showtime. Okay, I am here
Showtime.
with one of my most favorite humans in the whole world, Britt. She is an incredibly gifted, intuitive healer and coach and energy healer and somatic healer, just all the healers wrapped into one in this incredible human. So, Britt, thanks so much for being here with me. I can't believe it's happening.
I know, I'm so excited. It's real.
Something that I just have to say that I treasure about you is that I can always just be totally myself with you, and I feel loved, and I feel this huge, not that you need permission to be happy, but I just feel so free to be happy with you. So
that's a huge compliment.
I just love you.
And I love you too. And I really just truly, especially in my healing space, really don't have a lot of judgment in my body of others or their experiences or what they do. Honestly, if anything, the more authentic someone shows up, the deeper I fall in love with them. And I think that's also a huge compliment, because I think a lot of people actually dim their happiness because maybe we connect a lot through unhappy things, or they're scared that someone else won't be happy. There's so much of that. And I'm when somebody's happy, I'm yes. And when somebody's sad, I'm yes. Because all parts of you are so important and fruitful. I'm glad that I can create that type of space. That's very cool to hear.
Yes, you do. And I think
very cool. So thank you.
You're so welcome. And I think I've known you. I was trying to figure this out. I actually think it's since my second was in my belly. So almost 13 years. I think it was before my baby was in my belly. I saw you.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Because you saw me at Lifetime.
Yep.
So before I ever went off on my own. So I was going to say 14 to 15 years.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Wild. Wild.
Why? When you really look in that, you think about that, that's kind of, it's magical how you can meet somebody and keep going and just have that time together, and it's still that's so rare. Think about how many people we just cross paths with every day and we never see them again.
Yeah. And I feel since that time, you've just pulled the most authentic version out for me. Every time I see you more and more, you just pull pull it out of me. So thank you.
Never quit evolving. So it's pretty easy when you're working with them. For
You're
sure.
sweet. I mean, I could sit here and gush over you the whole time, but I would love to hear from you for real. Like, you're the best. You make me happy. But like, so what from your perspective, just like, who are you? What do you love to do? And what are you up to? What's like, or what's your mission in life? I mean, any of the above.
Who am I changes all the time. And I think who I am is somebody who accepts myself authentically in every moment. And I think I'm very much a human existing in the human experience with a very unique tie to the spirit world. But like also like just so human at the same time. And my mission changes all the time, but at the core, it's like supporting and assisting people in their own evolution and their own journey, and like without an agenda of my own. And just
That's
creating
amazing.
a space where people, it's like creating a space where people feel loved just as they are.
Yep.
It's, that's why it's really hard for me to really nail down exactly what I do in my room. And I really have to trust God to like bring the correct people in who will just allow me to use what I have to like do the work that I need to do, while also simultaneously giving the person autonomy in the room, right? Because they deserve that and they have that. And I try to stay in a space of being led and being grounded and going where I'm supposed to go without judgment of self.
That's so cool. Okay, so you
If
said,
any of that makes sense, cool.
it's so cool. It makes total sense. And you said unique connection to the spiritual world, I think is what you said. And
Yeah.
so something that's like one of my, I mean, I love everything about you, but I also love, like, sometimes I'll sit down with you and you'll just get this awesome smile on your face. I'm like, oh, I think she can see an angel. And sure enough. So when did you, like, when do you remember first seeing an angel and it resonating and you're like, yes, that's an angel? And how do you see them?
Okay, so I do believe that I saw things when I was little, but I didn't have like, I always felt a presence of like of God. So like I remember like talking to God when I was like 3, alone on a hill in nature, which is
Really?
like weird, but yeah. And being like, why did you pick me to be here? I used to ask him that all the time. Why did you pick me to be here?
Question. I love
Like,
that.
why? And I was like, I thought to myself, what's so special about me that you picked me to be here? So I remember like being younger and like having those experiences.
Yes.
And I had like a lot of intuitive experiences leading up to this. When I was working at Lifetime Fitness, and I started working with a healer because I was really struggling with my health and just kind of cleaning out my body, cleaning out my stuff. And I started to see, and the way that I describe an angelic being is it sort of looks like a fleck of glitter, like falling through like the air, and it catches a light, but it's like 10 times as bright. But this happens in a dark room where there is no light. So I started seeing those, and the healer, who I'll never forget, his name was Warren King, and he changed my life. And he had said, when you heal, your gifts are going to start to come out. And I said, what?
Wow.
And he's like, you don't know? And I was like, no, I'm a massage therapist. He's like, no, you're not. And I didn't think I was like, okay, like fix my body. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as I worked with him, then I started to see these things in my room. So I went to the eye doctor, and he's like, you do have astigmatism, but that's it. Like that's happening.
I
And
didn't
was
know
like,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever like, yeah, of course I'm seeing that. Like, I was like, wait, what? Then simultaneously with the healing, I had developed like some migraine. And so then I was like, oh, I have a brain tumor. So I actually had MRIs and scans done of my brain.
Did you really?
And they're like,
Wow.
yes, because like, why would I think it was anything but something wrong with me?
Wow.
And so I had all this work done, nothing's wrong with me. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then a few months later, I'd gone back to see the healer. It might have been like, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. It's a while ago, so I don't remember exact timing. And I was like, it's really weird. Like, I'm seeing all these things and I'm like, what are they? And I was like, and I had an MRI. And he was like, why are you in so much fear? And I was like, I'm not in fear. He's like, you're seeing angels. This is your gift I told you about. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, they were always there. You just didn't see
Wow.
them.
Yeah.
And that was like, it still took me, like I would share that information with very few clients, like barely
Mm-hmm.
anybody.
Yeah.
And it still took me years to, oh, like shout it from the mountain. But that's like, so I started seeing them probably around age 26, 27. But I definitely would say when I went to massage school, my gift like started to expand and my instructors there would tell me that I was different than the other students.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, you're different. And I'd be like, how so? And they're like, just you're different.
Yeah.
But I just was
You are.
young and um I had dropped out of college, went home and worked at the daycare in my town at a church I'd worked at through high school. And I woke up one morning and I heard a voice say, you should go to massage school. And that was the first time I heard God.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very matter of fact. And then I signed up for massage school a week later.
Wow.
So that's kind of like like a very long story about one question. Like that's sort of what led me to that point. And it really honestly, like I always had those gifts, but until I worked on my own healing, I wasn't going to be responsible enough to embody them.
That's wow. Yeah. That's really neat.
So that's like when that's so Lauren King changed my life. Blessed that he
What kind of
entered my
healer
life.
was he?
He actually was traditionally like an acupuncturist. And I had found him because my daughter just had chronic ear infections. And then
Yeah.
another healer I knew said, you should take her to this guy. And I was a single mom at the time with no money. Like, no, I had nothing. But, as a mother, you like just do anything for your child.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't care what the cost is. No one else is helping us. And I remember him looking at me and he goes, once we get her figured out, we're going to take care of all this. And I was like, okay. And then eventually I felt ill enough to go see him.
Hmm.
And yeah. So he was traditionally an acupuncturist, but I would say that he was more in the space of what I do.
Yeah.
We just had different trainings. He was
Yeah.
he was highly, highly intuitive.
And then when did you start training in like energy healing? And can you maybe just explain like what energy healing is to us?
So yeah, I'm gonna do my best. I would say that I was always doing energy work,
Yeah.
unknowingly. But I would say that my training in cranial sacral therapy cracked me open quite a bit too,
Yeah.
because it's really about like that jet, like that. It's still bodily manipulations, but it's very passive, where the practitioner is getting the client into a state of such nervous system regulation and such fluid that the body just self corrects. So
Hmm.
there's And when I was learning it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this actually really makes sense in my being.
Yes.
So I think there, but make no mistake, we are changing energy all day long.
Hmm.
You do it with the people at Target, you do it when you cross
Yep.
paths with someone all day long.
Yeah.
But like intentional energy, that's like passive energy experiencing. I'm doing intentional work.
Yeah.
And so then these gifts evolved and I kept feeling like I need a label. I need this, right? And
Yep.
So then I did get certified in Reiki by a woman who owned her name's Nicole, and I forget her last name, but she owned a yoga studio in Excelsior, Minnesota. And I found her to be a very grounded, well thought out individual. I respected her as a business owner. So therefore I felt safe taking the training from her.
Yeah. So yeah,
Does that make sense?
it makes total sense. And I just want to like pause there for a second because I know this is something that we've talked about before and something that's super important to me. In, I grew up Christian, and certain like Christian circles, there can be this fear around energy
Yeah.
healing. And the first time I experienced it from you, I just remember almost immediately thinking like, wait, why is there fear? Like this, if I have ever experienced anything as close to what I imagine Jesus' hands-on healing would be, it would be this.
And also, like, Jesus laid hands on people
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And he was also a human. So
And like when we're in that
it's kind of
fear, like we're in the very thing that we're trying not to be in. We're like in this judgmental, fearful energy. And I think too, like knowing you, like you said, you knew that your trainer was grounded. Like that's how I feel with you. I'm like, I know you. I've known you for a long time now. I know that you're very discerning too. And so I think that also brings me to like, what are things to actually like have our guard up against? Because energy healing, I think, could heal the world. So that's certainly like not something to be afraid of, in my opinion.
Yep.
But like, what do
I
you
think
like
that,
kind of, yeah,
I think it's so hard because I think discernment is key.
mm-hmm,
And you also you really do you need to trust. Like, I actually think we all have intuitive abilities, and I think
yeah,
our body speaks to us a lot.
mm-hmm,
And so if something feels, if something feels off, it's probably off. And like, do I recommend going into like a random psychic on the street? Not really. You can free will, autonomy all day long, but like I personally wouldn't do that. And if I did, I'm so grounded in my own self that I know
yeah,
like I'm not actually seeking any answers from them. So it would
hmm,
actually be probably more of me witnessing them. But like
interesting.
it's I just think discernment is like key.
Yeah,
And I think it's really hard to guide people in any of that stuff. And what was what was lucky for me is I've actually had experiences with ungrounded and icky healers. And I actually wanted to believe that they were helping me. And there really was only one in particular. And I really wanted to believe she was helping me, but I knew she never was. But actually
hmm,
she was, in the way that I was learning, like, that he was not grounded in God or her heart.
hmm,
And so after a while, I started like put pieces together, but I so badly wanted to to find a way to prove or justify my gifts to others so I would be
yeah,
accepted.
yeah,
So I would see, like, does that make sense? Or, oh, the
yes,
more I read or the more people I see, like, but the gifts were already there.
wow,
But I love your point about like, how do you know? I would say absolutely listen to listen to your body.
yeah,
Is a grounded friend referring you in?
mm-hmm,
Take your time getting to know them. Like, does your body become at ease when you're there?
yeah,
Do you feel safe? Do you feel held? Even amongst like maybe emotions bubbling up that need to come out that actually have nothing to do with the practitioner, but they're helping you move them. Do
yeah,
you still feel safe and loved through them? Like, that's like the best advice I can give somebody is like, listen to yourself. You know, And the only time you're not going to know is if you're in fear or desperation.
Hmm.
When we're in those places, then we let in things that we don't need to be letting in,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, right? Because
Yes.
think about it, it's really no different than somebody in fear. And like someone's like, if you do this program, you're going to lose 1,000 pounds. And they're in fear. So they're like, they know deep down that this is false, but they're like, well, but maybe I'll do it. They know everything. And it's like, no, that
Yeah.
you bypass what your body was telling you.
Yeah.
So there really isn't like a typical answer, but like if the website doesn't resonate, if you feel like they're not centered in God in the way that resonates with you, there's nothing wrong with that, but then they're probably not a match for you.
Yep.
And then also just like, it's okay to be open and then also grounded in your own faith and your own understanding of like what God is to you.
So I keep hearing you use the word grounded. It's really standing out to me. How do you
Hmm.
ground yourself? And like, what does that mean to you, being grounded?
Grounding is a practice, and I know it's cliche. Grounding is allowing yourself to get still enough that you can actually honor the signals of your body.
Yeah.
So I think grounding actually like birth from like a ton of different practices. Sure, like do I think nature can be is grounding? Absolutely, 100%. Do I think that if you're in a total dysregulation, that you can go out and stand by a tree and all of a sudden you're like good? Probably not, unless you're really well practiced. So it to me being grounded is being connected with your body. It's
Mm.
being inside here. And
Mm-hmm.
then also firm enough to go, this doesn't feel good. I don't know why, and I actually don't have to have a reason why.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna trust it because that's what I feel like I need to do.
Yes.
And grounded enough to hear that. And that birth from like boundaries of people and saying no to things and like I think that I've learned to ground through working with my healer consistently. And like,
Yep.
I do a lot of yoga nidra meditation and also just a lot of trusting. I feel things so intensely and so deeply, and my
Mm-hmm.
logic brain wants to come in and make sense, and then releasing the need to make sense.
Yeah.
You can bring in
Wow.
that if I buy this car, I actually won't be able to afford the car payment. That's where your logic needs to lay. That's when logic is great in this human experience, for sure. But also, like, you might feel like the car salesman or the company doesn't align with you, and you feel that in your body, and you can actually go, okay, I'm going to trust my body and move with them. Like, that's like a place where that bodily trust where you'd be grounded in there. It's a
Yep.
lot. I mean, I feel like I could write a whole book on like grounding.
Yes, you could. Okay, so if we feel like in our body, like something showing up or getting stuck, I I mean, I know I love consistently coming in and getting like different body work and healing and like what else? Is there something that we can do on the spot to like shake out a vibration or something that we're feeling like before it like takes root in our body?
I love that. Absolutely. I think that movement, walking,
Yeah.
dancing,
Yeah.
those things are key. As well as like I'm a really big fan of yoga nidra meditations, whether you do 10 minutes or 90 minutes, it is a way to reroute. While they never replace the healer that I work with, I can
Yeah.
see her every day.
Yep.
I have and she's
I want
not
to come see you.
she's providing it. I
Yeah.
would like to see you every day too. But you do have I know, maybe at some point
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
do have to have those you do have to have those opportunities to like also empower your own self because
Yeah.
you also can't you can think I'm amazing and you can love me and I can love you, but you also have to go, Britt's providing space to help me heal, but I'm actually healing me. So, and I also think the food that we eat, the
Yep.
nourishment, the things that we take in, like I'm like, if the news doesn't serve you, turn it off.
Yep.
Don't if don't watch it. If this music that you're listening to is making you feel tired after, put on worship music or put on like, I have like a lot of playlists on my like Spotify, like put on like a meditation playlist, like, and that goes back to that listening to what the body's telling you.
Yes.
And also, oh my gosh, also staying super curious because
Yes.
sometimes what works for you isn't going to work. And they're like, I could go into hours of like, especially with females, I think there's a lot of our cycles intertwined in that. Like in the ovulatory, you might do better with dancing or walking, right? And in
Yeah.
your luteal, like I'm more inward. That's more what I need. So like then I bring in more meditation. Like during my luteal, I'll
I
meditate
love
twice a
that.
day.
Yeah.
And I think that's also the embodiment of femininity is flowing with your
Wow.
cycle to the best of your
Wow.
ability.
Yeah.
Because
That's
why would
stunning.
you? Yeah, because why would you? If your body's saying I'm overstimulated, I'm ungrounded, and I'm tired, and
Yep.
I'm not seeing Brit today,
Yep.
why would you like go for a walk when you're exhausted and you're in that like premenstrual phase? When
Yes.
actually what you really need to do is rest. And then the next thing that comes along with that is removing any guilt around your rest or your walks or taking care of yourself because your guilt and your shame blocks the healing.
Yes.
So when you start to get those practices to ground, making sure you're doing stuff like that too.
So yes. I feel like sometimes I'm so obsessed with healing and doing these practices to remain in my body that I almost get like a fear of
Oh yeah.
getting uncentered or off centered and outside of my body. And so I think what I'm trying to get at is like for people that feel like our hearts are actually outside of us sometimes, or like we're feeling energy in such an intense way from others, like, do you have any practices that you do or things that you do to protect yourself? Like
Okay.
you said,
Well,
those energy
first of
exchanges,
all,
like at Target and stuff. Yeah.
congratulations. You are not supposed to be in your body at all times.
Really?
No, no, it's like maybe like a shaman from Peru living on a mountain alone.
I want to be a shaman in Peru.
Be fun, especially if there's like goats there, like like animals. I'd be like, okay, you're not supposed to feel like you're not supposed to feel good every day.
Hmm.
You're not. You don't learn that way.
Yeah,
Most
that's
humans
true.
don't. Once
That's
you
a
get
good thing
really
to tell
good,
myself.
it is like, oh, okay. Like I believe to some extent suffering is a choice.
Huh?
I do. And we can look, but it's like, oh no, actually you're just having an experience. And so like when you're in those high sensitivity rates and those
Yeah.
periods of time where you're just like,
Yeah.
if somebody like jars you at Starbucks and you're grabbing your drink and you're just like, oh, like whatever they did, even if they
Yeah.
didn't even look at you, it's the way they created that feeling in your body.
Yeah.
Just witness it.
Yeah.
Witness it and go, what are you telling me?
Yep.
And if the voice is blank, accept that. And then the voice might go, actually, what I'm telling you is that you're tired or you're lacking or you need this. And maybe perhaps you also were sensing that they're struggling. Or
Hmm.
maybe they're a dangerous person. That's less likely, honestly. But like just witnessing it. And sometimes when I'm in a sensitive place like that, which happens, I'm very much vocal around that with my friends and my family.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
like,
really
hey,
good.
like I don't have space for that today. And I'm also like that with
Yeah.
my children, which has now provided them an opportunity. Like my 10-year-old will be like, I don't think I have space for that today.
That is
And I'm
so
like,
beautiful.
awesome.
I don't
Awesome.
have
And then when
space for that today.
I don't have
That's
space for that today.
yeah.
And even if a friend reaches out, I need this, I don't have space for that today.
Yeah.
And then it's love and acceptance. That also helps weed people
Yes.
out of your life who aren't along the ride for like the growth and the evolution of the self.
Yeah.
And owning that you don't have space. So like I felt like when I would be in those avenues, which happens a lot to highly sensitive, I almost like would try to plow through it,
Yeah.
and then it would just layer on.
Yep.
And the only person it hurt was myself and the people around me. And you would be so shocked what laying in your bed for 10 minutes, listening to meditation music will do for you.
So true. And you know what
And
else?
just shutting off the mind. Yes.
Yes,
Tell me.
I have had the most profound healing experiences with you and other teachers when I bring those really highly sensitive moments to you, like where I'm just like in rage. Like one of my favorite moments when you're like, I love rage, Kate. I still think of that.
Bring it.
Yes. Yes. And
So,
and then it's like
yeah,
that's
I
when I
do love
feel like
anger. I
most
love rage.
loved. And I am like, I've never like that's been some of my most well, it's just like when we're vulnerable. And then it breeds this like the most beautiful connection. Like
And then
when
you're also able
yeah.
to like, you get awareness, you own it, you claim it, you move.
Yep. Yep.
Like, like, I'm like, no, that actually pissed me off.
Right.
And you don't even need to know why. You don't. Like, who cares why? Because sometimes it just needs to move through.
Yes.
Sometimes it needs more attention.
Yes.
But acceptance around the feeling. And I definitely think there's so much, like, especially for women, so much shame around being angry.
Mhm.
Like, because then we're like crazy. And on the flip side, for men, it's like if they're angry, then they're dangerous. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it's maybe more of the suppression of this emotion, the enemy,
Yes. Right. Yes.
versus like I've never been scared when someone's in my office. And you know what? Usually when they're enraged, once we unwind it, it turns to tears because it's always
Yes.
sadness under
Yep.
it. And like you're also experiencing energy moving at that time too. And so it's
Yes.
interesting, to loop back to the fear around those things.
Wow.
It's so like, I'm like, but your energy and your like, there's an energy body that's an emotion body, and that's actually
Yeah.
energy too.
Yes.
That's why when somebody walks in a room, if dad comes home and dad's had a bad day and the house is good, but dad comes in and he is not like taking a moment or doesn't get
Mhm.
to take a moment, it bleeds through the house or it bleeds
Yep.
through the work environment. And that's energy.
Yep.
You're in it all
So
day. You're
in it
just
all day.
scared.
Yes.
You're in it all
Right.
day.
Right. Okay, so as a wannabe energy healer,
Oh
like
my
maybe I
gosh.
can
Rephrase that
convince you
right
to
now.
train me someday. Can I help to like shift my own energy, like move my own energy in those in between times, but can we like help shift other people's? Can I help do that?
Like, can I shift your energy?
Yeah, like as an energy healer, I feel like you do that for me. I guess what I'm like if my husband walks in and he is like having intense or something like
You
can we
can shift. If you have space for it,
if you have space for it.
that's number one. If you have
Yeah.
space for it, you can absolutely shift someone's energy. It also depends on like, it's like if he came home and he's really crabby and I witness it or I feel it the second he walks in the door, so now you have the awareness and you could go downstairs and you could go, how you doing, honey? Did you have a tough day? Or how approaching that person however they need to be loved. And then
Yeah.
being like, I got a stairs handle, why don't you go take a shower? Like a shower will shift energy, but like I can shift somebody's energy when I interact with them pretty quick. But I
Yeah.
know like I mean this in a not in a ego way, but I know what I'm doing, and like it's
Right.
very intentional. Like if I check in at a for some reason a hotel is coming in, like I'm like if I check in at a hotel and the person checking me in is got an edge or crabbiness to them,
Yeah.
if God leads me, I will pivot their energy.
Mhm.
I will be a day maker somehow, some way. I will do it.
Yep.
He has to lead me, though, because sometimes you do need to leave people in their suffering. It's not our job to save everybody in every moment. And if you do, you will be tired.
How do you hear
And
like
like,
the yes shift or no?
it's out for me personally. Sometimes I do hear God like in my mind, like a voice,
Yeah.
but he speaks to me mainly, I would say, through my body. And it always feels like a gentle nudge.
Wow. Like an
There's never
actual physical, like kind of nudge?
like a pull, like a,
Yeah.
okay,
That's so
I'm
cool.
gonna do a sound effect. It's kind of like a like a
Mm.
mm. That's how it feels in my body. And then I'll be like, and then I'll get like a burst of energy to provide that space.
Wow.
I do it all the time.
That is a
I remember my
really
girlfriend and I went
beautiful.
downtown.
I love that.
My girlfriend and I went downtown and we were going to park our car, and the parking attendant clearly was in a moment. And I immediately shifted her and we drove off. This was like 7 or 8 years ago. And she goes, how do you do this? And I was like, do what? And she goes, how did you just do what you did? And I was like, because God told me to, and then I had the space for it.
Mm. That makes me think of,
So it's like,
3-year-old
yeah,
Britt. Why did you choose me? Or
yeah.
what was it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, why did you pick me to be here?
Why
Why
did
did you
you pick
choose
me to be
me?
here? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm like, why did you do that? Like, what am I
For
supposed to
that.
do? Like, what do you
Yeah.
want? Yeah, what do you want me to, how can I serve you?
Hmm.
And so, yes, you can accept other energies. There could be selfish, means behind it, but I don't really feel that you would have those. And if you shifted your
That's
husband
so
because he
true.
came home crabby, if you shifted your husband because he came home crabby, you're not like, get out of here, you're crabby. You're going, you're making space for it, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
like,
And
so
for
I
the
don't,
record, he's really good at coming home and like just coming home and leaving things at the door. But when you know your loved one and you can like sense when they're holding
you
something
can,
in, you can feel it. And I'm like,
that's
I don't
that
know
is
what
the
to
hardest
do.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's such a beautiful point, because as for an empath or highly sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
if that your partner, whoever it is, comes home and they're not presenting what's authentically happening in them, for people like you and I, that can feel really confusing because inwardly we feel one thing, but we're visually seeing something else.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's a really hard thing to navigate. I'm like, I love that you brought that up. And like, if you have that ability, you have gifts. If you can witness people without what they're physically presenting to you, you have gifts. And sometimes that, like, I don't know, that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
another
it's,
thing that I
yeah,
want to. Okay. So, you know how you're super in tune to not only like seeing in just a person, but like you have this really neat ability that you speak to like the collective energy of the atmosphere.
yeah.
How do you do that? Like what are you sensing? What are you pulling from?
Usually, what's really interesting is that's usually when God will speak to me.
Really?
Like if I do an Instagram and he's like, this is what's happening or this is what's coming, do you believe that we go through collective healing? And so like a lot of people will be kind of going through the same thing at once. And he will come in all of a sudden out of nowhere and just tell me what's going on. And usually I pop right on my phone and I share it.
Mm,
And they're very random.
yeah.
I don't know. And the downside to being tuned into like that is that you can also feel just like the collective nature of like the world.
Yeah.
And so,
How
like,
do you
when there's
shake
hard
that
things
from
going
you?
on, that's something
Like your
I'm
breath
really
work?
learning to process.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been something that's actually, I'm kind of like trying to learn how to identify when that's going on still.
Yeah.
Like, trying to go, is this mine? Whose is this? Why am I
Yeah.
but I have noticed, I have witnessed that when it's a collective thing, it feels very big in my body. But it can
Mm.
manifest as pain. It can manifest as like feeling sick. Um, so like those are also like a bit of like a hardship of the giftings is just it. I can actually feel unwell,
Yeah.
but I don't have a great answer for that because I'm still learning on that. I'm still
That's
processing
beautiful.
how to do all that.
That's
I mean,
beautiful. And yeah.
yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. And
Maybe
I
in a
know,
day I will,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
right
Yeah, if you
now
do, let me know. Yeah.
I'm like, do you know? Because I could use some.
I have been practicing like just imagining my aura and
Mm.
like just imagining like watching where it is. That has really nothing to do with what we were just saying, but other than just like trying to like think about that and imagine that and like
Yeah, but I
imagine
also,
protection
yeah,
around
but
that.
it does loop in though, because like for a lot of people that does work to provide protection, like, and I think that's
Mm.
kind of like also a way to connect into your energetic field and your body.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it does make sense why you felt led to say that because it does loop in. Like that could be a practice you might use. But then again, that's about coming back to your body. I think our body's just like a big dad antenna.
I love that.
Yeah. That's
So
how you
I
gotta
know
keep
that
it.
and that was like my next thing is I know you've moved through like a big health journey of your own, and so many people are just like, don't feel well, don't feel good in their body. Like, what would you point them to? Like, first step, or maybe one, two baby steps to feel more alive in their body and even
Uh,
start a healing journey?
as Yeah, gosh, yeah. It depends on where you're at. You know, some people will go, just walk 5,000 steps a day. Okay, well, I actually needed to have my hand held. I
Yeah.
needed hand holding. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, like, even if sometimes it's like seeing a healer once a month or getting a massage consistently or getting cupping done and just one thing, just choose you and like let it blossom from there. I do think that
Yeah.
it's possible to have a complete overhaul. I've seen it, like, it's not really something that I see stick very often, but I do believe it's possible. So I feel like just start with something small. And why that's so hard for people is because they actually see their own potential and they want out of what they're experiencing so badly that they'll fall into like the snake oil. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
actually, you're the magic. So just find something that you could commit to. If you could commit to a 10-minute meditation every day, start there and just do that for 3 months. See where it leads. Like, and one thing that when I started like my health journey, one thing that I repeatedly said to myself was, I just have to love myself right now.
Mm.
Get also like, I didn't think it then, but what comes in right now is like that I was actually saying to myself, it makes me teary, like, I'm worthy of love right now.
Yeah.
No matter like what I look like, no matter what's happening to me, I'm actually worthy of love right now. But in that era, I don't think I could have ever said that to myself back then. But I just said, I have to love myself right now. And maybe you start there.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And like, it's like people don't hurt their bodies and do things that aren't good for themselves because they want to. They do it because they're hurting and they're trying to escape, or it's all they
Yeah.
know, or it's
Yeah.
the environment around them. And I'm not talking about like going to college and drinking too much and gaining the freshman 15 and then being like, like that's actually not working. Like this is like really big self sabotage, lifetimes of it, and like nobody wants to feel like trash or nobody wants that. And I just think it all
Right.
begins with like simple, I got to love myself right now. And saying I'm not going to go to Starbucks because I actually need to get that massage on a Friday night. And then on that Friday night, I'm going home and I'm reading a book.
Hmm.
And once a month, you do that once a month, it will
Yep.
birth other things.
Yes. Yes. That's so true.
It will.
That's so true. Is there anything else that you want to share before we close with some rapid fire questions?
No, this has been so fun.
You're the best.
It's good for me to, I want
love
to,
you.
I want to share this. I love you too.
Yeah.
It feels good to verbalize some of what I experience.
Hmm.
That it feels
That's
good to
cool.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
It feels
that.
good. Yeah, it feels good to verbalize it because I don't always get to do that. And it's a really neat opportunity.
I love that. I'm so glad.
Me
You're
too.
such a bright light. And I mean, I don't know, I could just go on a whole nother tangent, but just grateful for you. Okay, rapid fire questions. Okay, so anything that comes is cool. When do you notice God's presence from within your body?
I'm just going to go with what comes in first and not
Love it.
judge my answer. When he wants me to.
Hmm.
Like all the time, but like when he wants me to.
Yeah, I hear that. How about the presence of Jesus? Is that the same? Is there something different?
I feel the presence of Jesus a lot in my room when I'm working, and I ask him for assistance a lot. So
Hmm.
like when I'm bringing in information, to me, I feel God. And when I'm laying hands and I'm doing healing work, that's when I feel Jesus.
That makes me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
He's prevalent.
That's so, yes.
Yeah. That's when I feel
Yeah.
him for
Wow.
sure. Yeah, he's honestly like
Yeah.
the OG healer.
I told you how last time that I was in your room, that as you were doing energy work on me, I kept seeing the story of when the woman reached out and touched, I think, the clothes or something of Jesus, and I don't remember where it was in the Bible, and how he felt like the power move out of him. And I just kept seeing that over and over again and like feeling just such powerful imagery and feeling with it. Okay, so good. But what does faith mean to you?
Faith means trust. Faith means removal of logic. It's faith to me is removal of logic.
I love that. Okay, you've kind of touched on this, but how do you hear from God? And is there anything specifically you're hearing right now that you would like to share?
I hear him in my mind and in my body. Visually see angels, which I think are like a connection to
Yeah.
God, but I would
Yeah.
say like they are God. They're not.
Yeah.
The only thing I feel right now is like a lot of like warm, like almost coming out like a sun through my belly. But like
Wow.
the top of my belly, like my stomach, like right under my rib cage. And like I will never give you false information and tell you something you know that about me.
Yeah.
But that sensation is definitely in my body, and I can feel it like down the backs of my arms. Like it's kind of just like almost like oozing out. It's very
That's so cool.
like it feels like warm and happy and kind of electric.
Warm, happy, and electric. That's the best. Why can't I feel that way all the time though, Britt? Okay. And
Me too.
lastly, one small healing exercise or like mindset shift or any little practice that you would like to invite us into just for the week ahead.
Oh, I love that question. I'm gonna challenge y'all to be still
Mm,
and like really still
yeah.
and still your body and accept if you cannot still your mind and just experience yourself like 5 minutes a day.
Mm,
Just experience yourself.
experience yourself.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. How can we support you and find you?
You can support me by following me on Instagram. It's The Happy Healer. or the happy_healer1111. And all my links are in there if you want to check out my website. I have a beautiful office I have a very, very godly massage therapist who is also has the gift of discernment. She has the gift of prophecy, and I believe that I do as well. So Kanda is amazing. And then we also have Bree, and she is a fireball of passion for women's health and supporting all of us. We're just trying to make it happen for people, make their life
Yes,
better, make their life happier.
you are. You're doing it.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Yay!
You're the best. Yay! Thank you so much for being here and for listening. And I just hope that maybe one little something will stick with you in your week ahead. So much love to you.